Hey guys, Matt from Total MTG here, and it's Deck Tech Tuesday. This week I am showcasing a deck that Michael Lehman played at SCG Baltimore this weekend. I watched it, I really like the deck. It's a lot different to Bank Company and the Humans that were just covering the whole of the field. I do play quite a lot of his decks as well. I just find that we seem to play the same sort of decks. So this is Esper Starfield. Really fun deck. Utilises the Starfield and Nyx and enchantments and stuff like that. Actually runs no creatures in the main board, so you know, it's absolutely hilarious. So we're going to go to the spells to start off with. We start off with a couple of Transgressing Mind. This card is really good at the moment. Target player reveals his hand. You choose a card from it covered in mana cost 3 or greater, then you get to exile the card. So we run a couple of them. Then we run a couple of Ruinous Path. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. And obviously has the Awaken as well, which you can put 4 counters on a land. But, you know, it's a sorcery speed, but Ruinous Path is still a very good card. So we're going to run a couple of them. We've got a one-off Planar Outburst. I did make a slight addition. You know, nothing against this deck, because obviously he's probably a lot better deck builder than me. But I added one of these to the sideboard as well. I just like the... you know, with no creatures and stuff like that, we might need to clear the field a bit more if we're getting, you know, sieged under. So I put another one of these inside, but we run one in the main Planar Outburst. And then we run Languish. We have 3 Languishes. -4 Fortal Creatures, great against the little humans. You know, you want to be drawing this. Potentially you can maybe up it to 4. I'm not too sure, but you do have the Planar Outburst in there. But we run 3 of them. Good card, that. Oath of Jace. I was looking for a reason to play this card, and I saw his deck, and you know, this is what I'm doing it. Even though we only run 3 planeswalkers, you pay 3 at the beginning of your upkeep. You scry X, where X is the number of planeswalkers you control. So we could control planeswalkers. It could be good in late game. But when it enters the battlefield, you draw 3 cards, then you discard 2 cards. So it helps us go through our deck. So we got 4 of them. A couple of Grasp of Darknesses. -4/4 till end of turn to target creature. Nice early potential kill spell. Anguish Unmaken. We've got a couple of these. Exile target non-land permanent, and you lose 3 life. But it helps us, you know, against planeswalkers. We only got a couple of Ruinous Path, so we have this to deal with it as well. And any, you know, annoying creature, you know, the land, Westfall Abbeys, or anything like that, we can sort of exile. Stasis Snare. Flash Enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. So, got Flash, you can play it any time, and it costs 1 and 2 white. So we got a couple of them. And the all-star of the deck, Starfield of Nyx. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield, as long as you control 5 or more enchantments, which hopefully will. Each other non-or enchantment you control becomes a creature. As base power and toughness equal to the coveted mana cost. So, you know, we've got some nice enchantments there. Obviously, the Oath then can turn into a creature, which is pretty nice. Also, you know, Stasis Snares as well. And we, you know, so we're going to run a full play set there, 4 of them. We've got Silk Wrap, which obviously is another enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, target creature power 3 opponent controls. You leave the battlefield, so you get to exile that, which is important as well. And it can trigger with the Starfield and Nyx and turn that into a little creature 2/2. So we're going to run 3 of them. Also, we run, before we get to the Planeswalkers, Lunar Force, which is from the new set. When opponent casts a spell, sacrifice Lunar Force, and you get to counter that spell. I've played, you know, I've already come up across that quite a few times online, and it does just slow your opponent down. You know, it makes them have to waste a spell. You know, it's pretty good. So they waste that, then they have to play. So they might not be able to play a spell, but they might have, you know, a really good hand, so it might just totally slow them down completely. So we're going to run 3 of them. Also, from the new set as well, should be flashing up on the screen now, is Oath of Liliana. Oath of Liliana is from our new set, Eldritch Moon, as well. When Oath of Liliana enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature. At the beginning of the end step, if a Planeswalker entered the battlefield under your turn, you get to put a 2/2 zombie there. But we do only run, you know, he runs 3 Planeswalkers, so you're probably not so much looking at the trigger for this. You're looking for the sacrifice a creature, and then turning it into a creature with Starfield Nyx, which makes it into a nice 3/3. So, let's get on to the Planeswalkers. We run a couple of Sorin Grim Nemesis. That can win the game on its own as well. You know, it's like probably like an alternate win con if the Starfield isn't doing it. Sorin can get out of hand. You can keep plussing it, revealing cards. You know, we've got some nice spells in there that might cost, you know, we're going to be doing a bit of damage. Be nice to hit the, you know, planar outburst, hit them for 5, or, you know, might hit another Planeswalker potentially. But it's a really good card, that. And you can -X to target creature Planeswalker, and you gain X life. And the -9 puts a number of 1/1 black vampire creature tokens available with the highest life total. And it runs a 1 of Nicholas Reignited. You draw a card, so nice card drawing, you lose 1 life. The -3 is destroy target creature. And the -8, if we can get it, whenever a player draws a card, the opponent loses 2 life. So that is pretty sweet. So this is, you know, the main board deck that Michael Lehman ran. It did get, you know, it got an 18th place, which is very good considering all the Bank Company and Human decks around. You know, it's a totally different deck. I like the idea of it. I like the idea of using the enchantments. I just think it looks really, really fun to play. You know, if you've had these tucked away in your folders, you could get these O for Jaces out now. Maybe you think that, you know, they'll be saying better, but, you know, I'm not going to disagree with him. Pro Tour player, you know, professional player. So yeah, that is the main deck. Let's get on to the lands quickly. Just run through the land. Runs 26 lands. Playset of Sunken Hollows. It runs Shambling Vent, a full playset as them as well, which is, you know, turns into a creature for us and can maybe gain some important lifelink. So we've got 4 of them. 4 Prairie Streams, Evolving Wilds. It runs a 1 of Cave of Kalios, and then just a mixture of basics. But I will leave the deck list below as well in the comment section, so you can go and click on the link and check that out. So let's get to the sideboard. Like I say, I added in an extra planar outburst, destroy all non-land creatures, so I thought it might be good to have an extra 1 of them. Quarantine Field, another enchantment, enters the battlefield, you put X Isolation, you get to exile up to 1 target non-land permanent for each one. So that's a pretty sweet card. An extra Silk Wrap, just in case we need that. You know, sideboarding, once they've seen our plan, you probably sideboard in the negates. Stop all the enchantment removal. We've got a couple of Wasteland Stranglers in there. You know, we're exiling a lot of creatures, so we potentially bring a -3/-3. So that's why, you know, just the creatures that it runs. And the other creature that it has in the sideboard is a couple of Linvala. Linvala, one of my favourite cards it was from Oath. 5/5. When it enters the battlefield, opponent has more life, you gain 5 life, and then potentially you could put a creature on if they've got more creatures, which is very likely with the amount of creatures that we run. I like that it has 1 Ephany of the Drownyard in the sideboard. Like, again, I've been not playing this card, but I've always wanted to. So I like that it has that in the sideboard. 1 Deadweight. Or a nice shiny Infinite Obliteration. For those all-important, maybe Eldrazi cards you want to get rid of, the big creatures. And it runs a couple of Duress. So, guys, this was the deck this week. Esper Starfield of Michael Lehman's. Like I said, it did get an 18th place, so it obviously is competitive. You could take it down to your local F&M, and people will just, you know, probably not expect it. Or, I mean, I've come across it once online, I think. I wasn't too sure, but he started playing the Oaths and the Starfield, so I had a funny feeling that it was this deck. But, you know, it was very awkward and very hard to beat. So this is definitely a fun deck. I hope you like the deck. Let me know if you make it and how you get on with it as well. But this has been Deck Tech Tuesday. Esper Starfield. Nice standard deck. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you all next week. Cheers, guys.